Hello again. Today we're joined by Consuela Chapman. She's going to help us to dissect some of the issues surrounding intimate partner violence. As you know, October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So, Consuela, I want to jump right in and give us your professional advice and opinions and experience surrounding these type of issues.
Well, first I want to say, what you said was very important as far as being able to tell your story. Maya Angelou said that there's no worse agony, and it's not a direct quote, but there's no worse agony than carrying the burden of an untold story. And when a person has been victimized, it's therapeutic to be able to express those thoughts and those feelings, because if not, they will eat away at you. They'll cause what we refer to as a negative cycle of shame, guilt, resentment, and that shame and guilt is what keeps you silent. And so talk to us a little bit about that. How did that shame and guilt affect you?
Well, I carried a lot of shame, a lot of tears, but I remember no one thought I was going to go home, back to the same house, and I felt like I needed to go. I felt like if I didn't go back to that house like quickly, that I would not be able to go. That was part of my accountability and the strength of knowing that things were real, because it was blood all over the ground, and I had to clean up my own blood off the ground. But I felt shame because this is somebody I chose. I chose him, and it was a reminder of my bad choices. So at first it was like, I didn't really want to talk about it, and I would wear my scar covered even when it was already healed. They told me I could take it off after the stitches and everything had been taken out, but I decided to continue to wear the patch for a little while. Then I would wear shirts where you couldn't see it, and then I just began to realize, like, why am I hiding this scar? It's a reminder that I'm still here, and people made me feel shame. They would walk up to you and they would, they want to talk to you, but the first thing they do is they zone in on your scar. They look at your face, and it was a hurtful feeling. And then you had to be amongst the same people who said, I knew it wouldn't last. I tried to warn you, tried to tell you, but you were so, in love, you didn't want to hear. So it was a lot of shame, and it happened to me. And then when you're on Facebook and you're bringing people into your life, you're posting happy pictures, because we did have happy times, and I felt like some of the arguments we had I felt like they were normal arguments that married couples have, but I never shared any bad thing on Facebook anyway. I'm going to show you the happy times. That's none of your business. You know what I'm saying?
Because again, as a society, that's what we're taught. We don't air our dirty laundry, you know.
Yeah.
But like I like to say, hey, if not, you better tell your story because that funk will suck the life out of you.
Yeah. So it was pretty much like, you know, I have heard people saying, oh, she pretended like she was one way on Facebook. And I'm like, I never pretended it was just none of your business. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you enjoy putting your bad times, your trials in front of everybody, but I didn't, because I didn't want nobody to know I was even in this type of situation, because this was nothing I would have seen myself in. This is nothing I would ever see happen to myself, me. And I still sometimes like, oh my God, I can't believe I went through this. And so I did walk around shame of what everybody was saying, what they were talking about, that they were right. I got this scar. This happened to me. I was in the hospital and man about killed me. So I carried around a lot of guilt, a lot of shame for putting my children, you know, at risk around this type of environment. Somebody that I thought I trusted, or somebody I thought, you know, that loved me. So, you know, I'm thinking, what are my kids thinking? And I have all girls, you know, what am I showing them? You know, what is their father think? I put them in a bad situation. So I carry all kinds of guilt, shame. I did a lot of crying, but the crying was a big relief. And then I said, I'm not going to do this to myself.
How long ago was this?
Just March 26th of this year.
It happened March 26th of this year.
Yeah.
Really recent.
That's recent.
That's really recent. And it still feels new, because like I said, we haven't even really gone to trial yet.
Yeah. I mean, it's still there. I mean, that's like yesterday.
Yeah, to me.
That's like yesterday.
Yeah, it's still fresh. It's still fresh in my mind. I've forgiven, you know.
And so tell us about that. How has forgiveness allowed you to move forward?
Oh, it has allowed me to move forward because I know that there was a shift. I know that was not the person I married. That was something that came back to haunt him, that, you know, that was stronger than he was, you know. And so even the night that he stood over me with the knife, and I'm looking at him with the knife and he's talking to me, I didn't see him. I didn't see him nowhere in that body. It was just like, who is this person? You know, what are the, you know, demons telling him about me? He really don't know me, because, you know, I'm not going to cheat. I fear God, you know. So it just, I felt like I knew it wasn't him, and because I know he lost control, and I know that drugs and addictions make relationships toxic. And that's the longer he was doing the things in the street, the more toxic he became. And like I said, I knew it wasn't him. So I was able to forgive. I was scared to death, don't get me wrong. When I first went back home, you know, I wouldn't sleep in the house, and my kids' nerves was on high. If they heard my bed move, or if they heard me going to the bathroom, Ma, is that you? Are you okay? If they heard me coughing, because a lot of times I would cough up blood, you know, from being in the surgery and being under so long. You okay? Mama, you know, you all right? Their nerves is bad. And then to have the family, even though he was locked up, the family, like, they started being just outrageously off the chain, you know, about little petty stuff, you know, and it angered my kids. Like, this man just tried to kill my mom, and y'all are worried about little petty furniture and a shirt and a picture and a shelf, you know. So they have a lot of anger, but I'm hoping that they bounce off of me and see that I was able to let go and forgive him. But I realized once I fully forgave him, my nightmares started turning into good dreams, where I couldn't sleep because I would wake up and I would see him on top of me, or I would hear things. I began to have dreams that we were in a good place and we were hanging out, and I would wake up and be like, that was a dream. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So the dreams went from nightmares to actually good dreams.
Based on, because of the forgiveness.
Because of the forgiveness.
Yeah, and forgiveness, you you have to forgive yourself too.
Yeah.
For making, to relieve that shame.
Yeah.
Because that shadow of shame will follow you.
Yeah.
So you learn to forgive yourself.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. I'm not the professional here, so professionally, I want to ask you. You mentioned the family and how the family's treating you, and all the talk that's going around and everything. From a professional standpoint, is there a certain way that we handle the family in that type of situation?
Not necessarily a particular way, but I can say that there's a grieving process that comes along with when a relationship dissipates.
True. No matter what it is.
No matter, and there's a sense of loyalty, whether that family member is wrong or right.
Correct.
And it may not make sense. You can't make sense out of nonsense, but it appears that they'll be supportive of the person that's doing the wrong.
And I've been able to empathize with that.
What with them, as far as how they
Well, my thing is, I know that, like I said, they're angry. And like I said, I felt so many different emotions. Like, y'all better leave me alone. He already locked up. I don't want to deal with y'all. Just leave me alone. I went through the anger, like, you better not come near me, type of thing. Stay in your corner. And then it went from, I have a brother. And if my brother did that to a woman, it would upset me. But I would not. And this is what I'm saying. And I know that my brother, once he sees this, he's going to know I'm telling the truth. I'm not going to co-sign with that because that's wrong.
Right.
On all levels. But I'm going to support my brother. But I'm not going to be on Facebook writing paragraphs about the female because I know I didn't live there.
Right.
And I don't know what she lived through. You know what I'm saying? But I'm able to put myself, even before this, I can put myself in my own place. If my brother need me, if he go to jail, I'm going to talk to my brother. I'm not going to hate him, but I'm also going to let him know you was wrong. That was not right. You're a man. And my thing for me, what gave me peace with the family is y'all know y'all brother. Y'all was warning me.
Right.
One of the sisters told me that I didn't have no business marrying him, that I need to let him get his stuff together. One of the sisters told me that if I had known you before, I would have told you not to marry him. So y'all know y'all brother. So to sit on Facebook and try to act like I'm the one lying, I tried to stab him first.
Right.
Come on now, y'all.
Right.
And that's part of the denial.
Yeah.
When we think about the grief process, denial is part of that grief process too. The family members be in denial.
Well, that's the other thing. Even let's take it just for a second outside of domestic violence. Like you were saying, y'all were just having issues, no violence, no anything. People tend to still take sides. If that's your brother, that's your sister. You, as young folks say, you gonna ride for them.
That's right.
But there's a way to always ride for somebody. But when they're wrong, they're wrong.
Yeah.
And you can still support them and say, I love you. You wrong. I can't.
Exactly.
I can't come to bat for you. I can love you.
Exactly.
But I can't come to bat.
And
That's what she said.
that was my standpoint. Like, so that's why I said it came to a point when I forgave him that I could empathize for the family. So what I began to do is I began to pray for them because they weren't there. And I said, God, give them some kind of peace. You know where they are in their mindset. I don't. Because I would get nervous around them. One would, every chance she gets, say something to me, or even at church, try to say something to me at church. Like, really? Like,
That's what we here for.
we at church,
Yeah.
I dance at church,
People are petty.
They would come and try to do walkouts when I dance.
Really?
Yes, in front of the church. So if it was my fourth Sunday to dance or fifth Sunday to dance, they would come and they would be on Facebook saying Project Walkout is complete at church. Like, you didn't come to see me, you came to get a word. You know what I'm saying? So,
Seriously?
yes, at church.
Wow.
This level of pettiness exists.
Yes, at the church. And
At
like
the
I said,
church.
You that surprised?
we both got families in the church.
I actually am.
We both have families in the church. I grew up in the church, and he grew up in the church. But like my pastor asked, like, don't take sides. They both need prayer, And I'm praying for him. I'm praying that God really, deals with his spirit and his soul, that he really finds God, and not be on a pretending level. And I'm also praying for his family that they get some kind of peace behind this. But at the end of the day, Just leave me alone.
And these are Baptists, correct?
Baptist, correct.
See, I'm
How'd you know
surprised.
they were Baptist?
We're in the Bible Belt down here, and most of the people down here.
Methodist, Christian.
Yeah,
I'm
but
just saying.
I'm sure they're Baptists. I got that feeling. But anyway, moving right along. What I'm saying is this. Excuse me. What I'm saying is this: having been raised in a Baptist church like that, and I can kind of hear it coming out of you a little bit. And yes, I am surprised at that, because the religious level that they take it to, even in an incident like that, I mean, they're so close to their religion, they're so close to their God and whatnot. Even under something like that, even though I know there's some things that exist in the church and everything, they're back and forth, but to walk out of a church like that, that's just a whole nother level. In all my life, I've never seen anyone do that. I've seen a lot of stuff to happen in the church, but nothing like that where you just walk out just because of a particular person. I mean, at a minimum, I mean, at the most, I mean, you're going to sit there and, you may hear some rumbling or whatnot, but just to get up and leave?
Yeah, they plan to come, and they plan to stage a walkout. So when they called for me to come out, the siblings got up and walked out.
And you see, another part of it, there's usually elders in the church that don't really tolerate these type of things. I'm not sure what was happening in your
I don't know where's the elders, but it's a very lonely feeling. It's a very awkward feeling because people don't know how to take you, don't know what to say to you. Like I said, even though they were told not to take sides, there were people that took sides, and you would think that it happened to them, And like I said, I'm in church and everybody's awkwardly looking, but you got some people who reached out to me and some people who, really put their arms around me.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? But it make it tough when you got people who's plotting, or you get ready to walk out of church and they trying to cause an argument. Like, I'm looking at you. Like, I'm at church and you like, yeah, I'm looking at you. I'm gonna follow her to her car. Like, really? Really, I need security at church. Really?
Denial is definitely.
That is totally ridiculous.
Yes, I mean, those are some of the things that I went through. That's I mean, it is what it is. It was sad, but my girlfriend, she knows, she knows all too well, because I would call into her and I don't want to be the complainer. I don't want to be the one to keep going to church. Like, look, can I come to church? That's like I ran. I used to go to 10 o'clock service, so I know they were at 10 o'clock service, so I started going to 8 o'clock service.
Right, just to get around.
Just to get around. It's like, why am I running? I used to then be the runner. I used to be the one like, you know what? I don't care where we at. You come for me, I'm coming for you. That used to be my attitude. So I figured they were trying to trigger me to act crazy so they could have a word in court to say, she crazy, she at church fighting, but they want to trigger the behavior. But nobody sees when they're agitating the situation. They only see when you freak out and respond. But I have not freaked out. I have not responded. I'm like, you're going to do what you're going to do, because this was really between me and him. Stop making it about y'all. You all or whatever. Stop making it about y'all.
You know the best thing about some of these things, if you can find a silver lining in anything, time has a way of like opening up, and people start to see, okay, this is not what it really was. Yeah. This is the truth. This is the fact of the matter.
And I stood on that. I stood on the fact that I don't have to explain my situation to anybody, because God is my redeemer. He's already saved my life. He's already gone ahead of me. He already know the plots and the plans that was set against me. You know what I'm saying? To fail. My husband was already established when I moved with him. I moved from 402. He was already established in his home, and it was crazy because the sister, this is when I began to find out the little stuff that was going on. It ended up being that his truck wasn't in his name, it was in another female's name. The house wasn't in his name, it was in a family member's name. So he moved me in, and then they're mad because he moved me in, so they try to get everything cut off. So when everything got put in his name, we were fine, lucky dandy. I was going paying the bills. And next thing you know, when this happened, they trying to get everything cut off. They calling, Duke Energy, they calling everybody. Oh, the bills was in his name. Then they want to call the landlord and say, she don't have any lights. But they don't know. Just like they're working on their behalf, I had family working on my behalf that was going getting the lights changed over in my name. So I never missed a beat. You know what I'm saying? But that's the kind of stuff that the family deal with. So I'm in domestic violence court. They trying to take me to court for a shell.
A shell.
Yeah, so they in my domestic violence court, and they say they my mom have a shelf there. Shelf been there for 3-4 years. They didn't had ample opportunity to get the shelf. Now they crying. Oh, the attorney wants me to get this shelf.
Something so small in the grand scheme.
Yes, it's just
In the skillet too. That was my mama's skillet.
no dog food,
Oh Lord Jesus.
and the dog was mine.
I was about to say the dog is.
Dog food.
The dog was mine. Yeah, he wants the dog
I'm sorry.
food.
Let me ask you this. We kind of briefly discussed it a little bit.
Taking my loads.
But your daughter's 17 years old. She has to acclimate herself to this whole situation. She has to kind of find her way through. You're a little bit older, so you find your resilience the way you needed to. How is that conversation going with her now?
My daughters right now, their guard is still up because they're still young, 22 and 1 year ready to turn 18, October 4th. And they're still in a place where they won't come to church right now. And if they come, it's like in and they straight out because they're still in protective mode. And I know they still have the anger. I know they have not fully forgiven because anytime something go on, they're around, let me say something, just please let me, they're in protective mode of me. You know what I'm saying? Like, they better not come around here, they better not bother me. Mama, did they say something to you? What they said to you at church? They're in protective mode. And my daughter, my 22-year-old, she continues to tell me, Mom, I'm so proud of you. So she's seeing, she said, because out of all the stuff they have done to you, you have not retaliated. She said, how are you doing that? Like, how do you do that? She asks me that all the time. And I say, because it's not my fight anymore. I said, I'm free. So why am I going to continue to carry hatred? Why am I going to continue to be in bondage when I'm free? I'm gone. He's gone, And even when we go to court, when they ask me, I'm going to let them know, I'm not the type to say, I think that he needs this long sentence. I want him to get help. Whatever, because I didn't take the charges out. Y'all know that.
Right.
The state took the charges out, and I couldn't drop them if I wanted to.
And love doesn't stop because somebody hurt you.
Yeah, and because that was another thing. I wanted my divorce real quick,
Right.
And I was denied that fact. Yes, I was denied that fact. North Carolina they have really strong opinions and standpoints on marriage, and they say a lot of women who are violated by their husbands go back. So they still make you have that 1 year. Yes. But the good thing, that my attorney told me, at least you got a tracking of, where he was that 1 year, and then I'll be able to, get it then. But I thought, shoot, least of my life, I should get an immediate.
Should be like here, sign right there.
Yeah,
so you're saying it doesn't work like that?
Absolutely not.
No.
You still have to wait.
You still have to wait. You still have to be a 12-month separation time.
You can't live in the house for 12 months.
Exactly. Cannot, be consummated and,
Even though there's a way around that, but I will not tell y'all this. You want to know that?
Oh, trust me, I've been given a whole lot of ways.
Exactly.
I've been given a whole lot of ways I can do it, but I know that sometimes going the bad way will catch up. It'll catch up. I don't want to catch up. I want to really be the boy.
That's why I put it in the newspaper 30 days.
Yeah, I've been told a lot of stuff. Get right
That's
attorney.
common knowledge, though.
I have been told,
that wasn't my way of going.
Yeah, and I've also been told to get an attorney. Attorney might could bypass some stuff for me, but I was just like, you know what, I'll wait.
Your money on that. Yeah.
I'll wait. I'm good.
Unless you want to do it for pro bono.
Right.
Yeah. If you want to do it pro bono, don't spend. You've had to deal with a lot of things, and that's the thing about when somebody's victimized. The victim has to deal with so much.
Yes, it's like you being victimized over and over again. When he fled to Virginia. And when he fled to Virginia, he broke some laws there, so they kept him there.
This is after the fact?
Yes. Right after he fled, he got away to Virginia.
Well, I just want to really throw in a quick statistic because you mentioned something that was really pertinent. And it was like, so many women go back after, an assault or an attempt on their life, and I think the average is 7 times. A woman will attempt to leave at least 7 times before she stays gone.
So you said in a marriage or a relationship, that one woman will attempt to leave 7 times before she. Wow.
Yeah.
So is that number okay? That's a toxic relationship, right? So if the relationship is not toxic and he's just out there just doing stuff or whatnot, does that number increase exponentially the number of times that he tries to? That's another topic. But anyway,
Probably so.
that's an interesting
Yeah.
statistic that you got there.
And the website is breakthesilence.org. Kind of ties into what we're saying as far as the importance of telling your story. You know, you got to stop the silence.
I mean, speaking of silence, and I want to double back to answer your question about your kids and how they, how they were coping with all that. And you said that, they're apprehensive about being in church and going certain places. And, when you were speaking, I was thinking about fear. You know how fear keeps you safe on some things? So I'm just, from a professional standpoint, with them being, and I know we talked about forgiving people and all this and that, but speaking about fear and being frightened of something happening again, repeating that process, is it not a good thing to be healthy in that regard and hold on to that because of what's happened before and everything? I mean, from a professional standpoint, I know we look at healing and all of this and that, but to me, I'm just thinking about, okay, someone did me violently
You're thinking
wrong.
of more of being a proactive, using that fear to be proactive,
right.
and from a preventive standpoint.
Right.
Definitely from a preventive standpoint, but what it sounded more like, what you're describing, is some of the symptoms associated that can occur when someone has post-traumatic stress disorder or acute stress disorder. When they're hypervigilant, they're in that fight or flight. They're having, they got their guard up. They having flashbacks. They may be having nightmares. There's anger. There's irritability.
I still have triggers.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what I'm getting at. Can you fully forgive? That's what I'm saying. If you're still in that mode,
when you that has nothing to do with forgiveness. Forgiveness is letting go of those negative emotions that's associated with the person that hurt you. That's where forgiveness comes from. Because if not, those negative emotions will act as an anchor and keep you from propelling forward in life.
Well, are you totally giving it back though? Because if you're still in that that defensive state, are you fully forgiven?
Can't you?
Have you let it go? If that person came back to have a conversation with you, and you feel like, okay, you forgave them, you give them, put them in another light and everything. That's what I'm.
But you can forgive and still be proactive in protecting yourself.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So
I understand that.
Yeah.
I understand that, but that's
those
not
are the physiological. You're talking about the physiological symptoms that are associated with being traumatized. That has nothing to do with forgiveness. Forgiveness is the emotional state, not the physiological state. We have no control over necessarily the increased heart rate. We can't control necessarily our flashbacks. We definitely can't control our nightmares. But there are some things, some interventions that individuals can try and that they can learn through counseling on how to effectively cope. And then and with time, not to sound cliche, it can heal all wounds. At one point, I'm sure you can say you realize you got to the point, and you may not be there yet. But if you're crying every day or you're reliving something daily, you have that aha moment where you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't cry today.
I do the counseling still, but I still have those triggers. Like people can't talk to me a certain way.
Walk up on you. Sometimes you might get too close,
too fast. Don't carry me too fast. Don't say.
Raise your voice.
Don't raise your voice too. Don't make too many fast motions. Because I'll not go crazy, but I'll figure out. I'll be like, okay, I can't do this.
And I'm so glad that you shared that, because I think it's important for men to understand that sometimes, as women, we endure a lot, and when we're dating someone, when you get comfortable to the point where you're ready to date someone, they may not get it. They don't. You may not feel comfortable telling them all this, the back end of why you're reacting this way, but just to kind of give you some insight. Maybe the girl or the woman is having to. She don't like. Oh, don't talk loud to me, because she's going through something. There's countless women, and I'm sure every woman got at least one story that they can tell. But shame keeps them silent.
I agree. I mean, it's hard. I guess from a male perspective, if you're a man and you're dating a woman, and sometimes she may be a little standoffish, or I'm not trying to go too fast. We never go to that thought process of that exact why. It's all about, is it me? What did I do? Or are you not into this, or what's up with you, or it's all that, something gotta be up. But I don't think our mind ever goes to
that
something
person's hurt.
Right? How hurt? Mm-hmm. Not just the whole. Most of us probably think about her last man must have, dogged out,
yeah. and you joke cheated. About it, but you don't necessarily know
what that really.
That was a huge part of my shame. A huge part of my shame was like, ain't no man gonna want to talk to me, and I done had this crazy man that tried to kill me. They might think he might try to come back, later on when he, get out of jail, he might try to come back for vengeance. And I kept saying, no man is gonna want to talk to me. No man is gonna want to be interested in me. And even though I felt like I had the opposite effect, because men were so enduring and caring, and the people that were around me, the women, the ladies, every day when I would be in public, they would just say, can I have a hug? And that just meant so much to me. It helped me to come out of my shame. They didn't bring up the subject. I couldn't believe it. A lot of them would say, I was praying for you. I was in prayer for you. I was praying that you come out of it. Can I just please have a hug? And that did so much for my shame. It did so much for my self-esteem, because it was like another woman uplifting me instead of looking at me like, I knew it would happen. And even yesterday, I saw two people, and that's the first thing they said, can I just have a hug? And I love it. I'm like, yes, please hug me. I need it, because that's going to push me to get out. It's going to push me to come out even more, mm-hmm. and talk and realize why it's so important that we have other women who don't sit back and like, you should have got out of there. You stayed too long, and judgmental when they have no clue about what you've experienced and what you deal with, and on what level mentally it has drawn you or pulled you, or what state it has you in. But just that, and that's what I want to do. I want to put my hands around a lot of women and just say, I just want to hug. Because if you're at home and you're getting verbally and emotionally abused, you're missing hugs. You're missing a love. And I want to let them know it's okay. Don't be ashamed. Come out of there, So when they hug me, then I want to, exactly.
That's amazing, because like I said, I remember, when I found out and I saw it on Facebook, I'm sitting there like, wait a minute, what? And of course, everything wasn't up there at the time, but it was just prayers for you. And I think prior to that, we had lost a classmate or something, and it's like, on Facebook, when you see prayers for somebody, it's like, oh my God, what happened? You don't always get the full of what happened, but something happened. And so I saw that, and matter of fact, I saw it from your bestie over there, and I was like, I wonder what happened. Hoping everything's okay. And then maybe a couple of hours later, I was watching something, or something came across the news. I was like, wait a minute. And I still hadn't clicked it all together, because I was, I ain't gonna tell them what I was doing, but I just remember all of that happening very fast, and I'm like, wait a minute, that, it was like, wow. But then I fast forward, of course, prayers, and we're praying for you, and fast forward a little bit, and then one day, I won't say out the blue, but one day out the blue, I'm sitting at my desk and doing some work. Nikki goes live. Okay. I click on it, and all I see is this big smile. And I'm like,
bandaged up, because everybody was like, you all bandaged up.
Right. And I'm like, wow. And I'm sitting there, I'm looking at that, I got tears in my eyes because I'm sitting here like,
Yeah, because I was up there crying, but I was trying to say
yeah,
thank you because so many people were trying to contact me. My mom was like, I had to shut your whole phone down. She said it was ridiculous, and people were trying to, they were trying to FaceTime me on this, on Messenger, and people were sending messages, and my mom's like, your phone just keep going dead, and she said it's just too much. She said she shut the whole phone down. So I wanted to kind of let people know I'm all right. Thank you for the calls. So many people were sending money to my kids to make sure they had food. All of that stuff counts, you know. And it also showed me one thing too, how loved I was, because I wouldn't have never imagined all the people and all the pouring and all the money they sent to make sure that my kids had something to eat, that my mom was straight because it was all out at the hospital waiting for me to wake up or whatever. But I wanted to say thank you, and I wanted to let them see how good God really was, and that they said I was on the brink of life, but I'm right here. I'm right here, and I was proud to say just like look at God. I mean, and I think on the video I could barely keep my breath. I could barely talk, but I was in tears. But I was forever grateful because, like I said, never would have thought. Well, my never is next.
And I'm glad you said something about gratitude, just being thankful, because if you could have easily allowed that negative circumstance keep you down, but the power of gratitude and prayer, has been able to be a strength.
Yeah, because I know one time in my life I probably had a whole lot of enemies, and God wanted to show me, you know, you're loved. You're loved. Even though, you know, I might have a husband tell me they don't like you, they ain't your friend. You know, that was part of, you know, that control.
That power.
Yeah, they don't like you. They talk about you.
That was I guess after seeing that live, you did a couple more, and then you do some here and there. I think, you know, I saw one the other day where you were fixing the car, and I couldn't do nothing but chuckle. Yeah.
I worked on my car.
She was out there fixing the car. And so, just looking at it, I kept thinking, because at first I was like, I never,
You're back.
Yeah, I never really thought about
Nobody was helping me. You know, I didn't have my good hair on. I had a hairnet tied on, and my daughter was driving at the time, and the water hose came off with the O-ring, and smoke was just everywhere. And I'm like, let's have that fixed. Like, what in the world's going on? But when I calmed down, and because my daughter was all upset, oh, this is gonna be more money, da 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 da. I was like, look, just calm down. I said, pull the car way over here, because she's trying to park beside another car. I was like, I don't know if this car gonna catch on fire. Park in the back of the parking lot, you know. And I assessed everything when the smoke cleared down, and I let it cool, and you know. And I looked, and I said, oh, the radiator, all the coolant came out. I said, look, the hose is off. I said, and the O-ring is pulled back this way. I said, so I need some pliers. So I go in the store, ask them if they have pliers. He's like, you can buy some. Like, no, I'm asking you got some in the store. You know? I'm not going to buy no pliers, and I just need them for a second. You know, that's $12. But anyway, so I went outside, and I kind of like was going from men to men, like, pliers in your car. Well, they made me like, don't you ask my husband, you know, if he got pliers. I'm like, lady, I don't even want some problems. I just want some pliers, you know. But a Mexican guy, he gave me the pliers, and he pulled off. He didn't even wait for him.
He just left.
Yes. So I went allowed to let the ladies know when they assess the situation, open up their gifts. I got the pliers out. I pulled the O-ring back, and I hooked the hose back. But it was a little piece in my way, so I had to unscrew that piece off, lift it up, put it to the side, and I pulled that hose up and put that O-ring on. And
pay attention, ladies.
I did. And I hooked everything back, and then I put the little piece that was I had to move on top, screw it back in. Then my daughter in the store, like, you know, get some coolant, get some 50-50, put the 50-50 in there, and we cranked on up and we went up out of there.
That's when I saw that video, I couldn't do nothing but laugh. I was kind of in one of them frame of minds where I was looking like, okay, you know, you gotta, you know, because I know you said you talked to a couple of men. I'm like, come on now. I know, man, we gotta be better than that. You know, as we call ourselves gentleman style, but you know, you got a woman that's in need and need help, we got to do our job.
One guy came up there, but I was already done, and he said, "You didn't do that. You didn't do that." I said, "Yes, I did." I said, "I'm at a gas station. This is a truck stop. You see all these trucks over here, right there on Jones Side Road." And the man just pull up, go in the store, get that gas, looking around. I was like, you know what? Don't even worry about it. I don't need them. Give me them.
Independent woman. You hear
Yeah,
me?
but give me that stuff.
But watching that video, I talked to Ron just briefly a little bit, kind of about your story, maybe a month or so ago, and because we were kind of putting our list together, what we were going to do for the season, and I had you on my list, but I had you as that kind of like a big question mark, an asterisk, because it was kind of like, I don't know if she wants to tell her story in this venue or in this, in this setting. And then we started talking. We did a show with Consuela a couple of weeks back, well, a month or so ago. And then, she's been giving us ideas on some good topics, some good shows, good information that we want to put out there and try to make people mentally healthy and if they need some help or whatever the case may be. And she was the one that kind of, tapped us and said, the month coming up October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And so it was like, thought about it. And it took me a few days to actually, contact you, because I was like, because it's a sensitive subject. A lot of people knew about it, but at the same time, you weren't out there really talking about it. And in terms of just, putting it out there. So I said, he was like, well, if you can't do that, I'm gonna reach out. So let me think about it. I think I'm gonna reach out to him. Let me think on it, because it's sensitive. So I said, I'm gonna go ahead and reach out to her. I said, and I'm gonna let her know if she's not up for it, no worries, no pressure. But if she's willing to tell her story and just kind of try to help the next or try to help somebody, it's gonna be a great show. And you hit me back and was like, can you call me? I want to know more about it. Just, give me a call.
Because at first I kept saying, Sharon screen. And then I went over there to the page. I was like, because this is some phony stuff. I was like, I don't know about no show. I knew, I was like, because I had so many news people like coming behind trying to do stuff and contacting my kids, contacting my family members. I was like, I don't know, this sounds like some craziness. This might be somebody on his side, trying to, set me up or whatever. So I was like, but then after I told you, I gave you my number and I went on the page. I said, oh, okay, that's Terrence. Okay, okay, he do be doing stuff because on your thing, even though I seen your name, your head was down like this on your picture. I said, I can't see who this is with his head down.
Oh yeah, that was my head. Yeah, I got that picture with my head is down and I got my hands like that when I'm wearing all white. Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Why you not go to my page? You my partner. You supposed to know what I'm doing, man.
Change your
Come on, man. Don't do me like that.
Yeah, I had to go there and investigate.
Don't do me like that. But I'm more than appreciative and glad you decided to do it, because I think this is going to help more than one person. But like they said, if we can help at least help one, then it's still worth it. So
I had to call the district attorney, like I said, make sure that I was able to do it. Then I wanted to talk to my pastor, being that I'm a leader in the church, to let him know, what's getting ready to go on. And so, they just said, well, okay, just make sure that, that you stay consistent, because, the district attorneys will try to use stuff and twist the words,
Well, when we do it, one thing that we always do, we always give our people the opportunity to see what we did. We always try to put out a great, show, no matter what we do, but we always want the people that are on our show to be happy. So you'll definitely get a chance to take a look at it.
And just really quickly, some resources. The North Carolina Coalition Against Domestic Violence. There's the North Carolina Department of Justice. Their website has a lot of information about your rights, how to get a 50B, the restraining order, as far as like the process and things of that nature. Futures Without Violence. There's
Interact is a big one too. Interact helped me. They walked me through the process with the 50 50B restraining order. And I never had to even go to the courtroom. They have it set up in a room where you can talk to the judge right there in their facility and get everything set up. And So, and then they have the thing for the victim's assistance. Like, when I got to the hospital, I got a bill for $71,000.
Wow.
Yeah. And I had to deal with the family like, she got Medicaid, but I didn't have Medicaid. You know what I'm saying? So I end up getting resources and medical help after the fact, you know, and they helped me get it down, but it wasn't all the way down, you know. And you know the ambulance, they have their fee, the anesthesiology, everybody have their fee, and I had to get help trying to work those bills down. So I didn't know that they had the victims assistant, the funds that you get for being a victim. You know, something happens to you that you didn't.
Out of your control.
Yeah, out of your control. That's what I was looking for. Out of your control, and they help you fill out that application. They also offer you the counseling sessions for you and your family, either one-on-one or the group and the support system. So Interact was a big one. Even with going to court, they helped me get my domestic violence attorney. They contacted me. They helped me do the application. They walked me through a whole bunch of different and Interact is one that's locally that are very hands-on. They also came to my hospital room and they put me in contact, you know, to make sure I had somewhere to go, put me in contact with the right people. Like I said, very hands-on, not just for me, but for my children as well.
And I'm so glad that you shared that, because I want individuals, we want people to know that there is help. There is support out there for you. There's somebody to help you safety plan. There's someone to help you find you a place to stay, to keep you safe. There's someone, God forbid, there's funding if you are victimized physically and have hospital bills. There's really no reason to stay in a toxic, physically abusive and emotionally abusive relationship. And I just want everyone to know that there is hope, there is help, and love doesn't hurt.
Absolutely. And not to mention the other thing, I love that too. The other thing is too, you know, we do this show. We're gonna, you know, make sure that we put up all the, you know, the places that we talked about, the Interacts and all these places. We'll put it up, you know, at the end so you can see that. For whatever reason, if you can't read or something happens and you still don't get that, feel free to reach out to us, you know, message us, email us, whatever the case may be. If you need resources and you can't figure it out, you know, we'll be happy to, you know, put you in contact with this lovely lady here, give you those same resources that they've given to us. We'll make sure that you get the help that you need by some means necessary. If we don't know, we'll figure it out. So, having said that, do what you do.
I'll let you do. You've been so gracious enough and you're so smooth. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm so gracious enough.
So gracious and you're so smooth. I want you to take it.
Well, as my illustrious colleague likes to say, there's no excuse for good taste, because at the Gentleman of Style Show, we believe in better. Till next time. Salute.